Oh, good morning, everybody. 7 a.m. I'm getting some work done in the garden, so... Oh, I need to turn that down a little bit. Recording early here today, before it gets too loud. Welcome to Let's Play Zeus. I'm so excited to start today's episode. We are beginning a new adventure. Man, I keep doing that noise. I shouldn't mention it out loud, because you guys will hear it too now, and it will aggravate you, just like it's aggravating me in the editing, but there we go. Okay, we are, we're starting Perseus and Medusa. And for Zeus and Europa, we kind of went all over the place with the city design. So I'm going to show you some slightly more logical stuff this time. Lots to talk about, but let's jump in first with the lore. So, the people of Greece are scattered around the country. You'll gather them together like a shepherd gathers his flock and lead them to a brighter day. This adventure is not too challenging and consists of 6 episodes. If we click begin...
In a time of darkness, discord reigned in Greece, and the people lived apart from each other. Now, a new day is dawning, and the time has come for a leader to rise up and, for the first time, draw the people together, uniting them in a mighty city. Zeus himself has selected you to achieve this remarkable feat, and has pointed you to a site in the Argos. The city's name will be Argos. People will flock to the city in the hopes of learning a trade and feeding their families, and they will expect you to provide for them. Other would-be leaders in Greece are also trying to start new cities. Some of them will achieve a modicum of success, while others will fail completely. You might encounter them in your journeys.
So, this is pretty interesting. Argos, they say. I'm going to keep saying Argos. Now, I say Argos because, for people that don't know, here in the UK... that's a big, like, store chain. It's one of those shops that... I don't know what the equivalent is in the US or in Europe. I mean, do you have Argos there as well? But basically you go and instead of it being a massive shop floor filled of stuff, they just give you, like, a book, like a catalogue. And then you read the catalogue, you note down what you want on a piece of paper with a pen. And you go to the front desk and you just give them the piece of paper and pen. And then they go out into, like, a massive warehouse in the back and they grab it for you. So it's slightly more efficient on their end because they don't have to do this moment where they move stock from a warehouse to a shop front. They just keep it in the warehouse the whole time. And you'd usually go to get like big flat pack furniture and stuff or whatever. I don't know. Why am I explaining Argos here? Anyway, we call it Argos. So I've been saying Argos. But what's cool, okay, is we saw Argos. We were trading with Argos. Argos was helping us in the previous part. So again, I don't know like the full history of all this stuff, like exactly when things happened in ancient Greece, but when we were in the previous adventure with Thebe, Argos was already established. So I like to think maybe this one's a bit earlier on, who knows. Okay, so Zeus himself has appointed us to do this, a new way of life, 500 people in homesteads, or better, 20 skeins of fleece in a year. So you'll see... they're not asking for just a batch amount of stuff, they're asking for production. And that's important because that helps them, like, estimate how great your city is for the later missions. You know, at least there's a baseline established. And a yearly profit of just 500, not too bad. So we are now moving up through the difficulties. So beginner doesn't have, like, a flavor name for it, but the other ones do. So normal mode, air quotes, is called mortal mode. So mortal is what we're doing now. I don't anticipate it being too much harder, but... there probably will be things going on now. When you put a difficulty up, prices get more expensive, yields go down, threats for other things start going up. So, yeah, we should see the dial's been turned a little bit here. So starting with 10,000 drachma, 0 population, we get to form our new city. So this is what Argos is going to be like. And look, it's a huge map again. And now you guys know from the first adventure... what we do here, we're going to be with for a while. So we really do want this to be nice. So what have we got? Well, we have mountains and a quarry. A hidden quarry way off in the back left. I don't even know how they'll get to that quarry. But there is a quarry there. There's a road here. Is this the entrance to the city? I guess we can verify by putting a house down. Actually, I'm going to put a bunch of houses down because I just want to have a little bit of population to talk about some stuff in a second. There's farms to the north. Just a couple. There's a really fertile farm up there. And again, you can see on the mini-map, the purple is much denser here. And it's much more thin here. I don't know whether that affects production. There's mountains up here that we could totally live on. And paths, by the way. When you draw your own path up a slope, it does a fun little animation. There's another thing about paths that I was about to show you on a previous part, and then the lava struck, and we got screwed out of it. So there's farms up here as well. That's all a long way away. And then there's water, and oh look, in the water it appears we have weird moving things. Schools of fish. So there will be new things that we can do with the water. But it seems like an amazing place for a city, doesn't it? This seems just as good as Thebes, if not slightly better, especially if this lumber is decent. So this looks like a very good place to be. Right, well, let's turn the game speed up and see if these people are coming out. Now, I've got some fun things to talk to you guys about. Now, I have started to break my rule. Okay, so the entrance to the city is down here. So one thing we could do is connect the two roads together. Now, I've started to break my rule somewhat in terms of... I've read a little bit more about the game, just to verify some of the things I know. Now, the first thing I want to tell you guys is that I lied. I made a mistake in a recent part. Now, remember, we were looking at the market vendor, and he was walking between the houses distributing his food. And at one point, I said, oh, when he runs out of food, he'll go back. Okay, that was a lie. That was completely wrong. And I should have known that that was wrong, because the game is built on a principle that has nothing to do with that, okay? And in fact, we've demonstrated that that's wrong as well at one point. The guy with the cart has a mixed variety of goods. He can have armor, and he can have horses, and he can have wine, and he can have food, and he can have fleece, and he can have oil. So just because he runs out of food, he's not going to turn around. Maybe they might have put a thing in where if he runs out of all of them, he turns around, but the game's not that sophisticated. And in fact, it's designed to not be that sophisticated. If he runs out of something, he just keeps going, and it disappears from the agora, as we saw with that armor thing. All the walkers are like that. They don't have their own little stock within their inventory. The game is not that sophisticated. They just walk, and whatever they walk near, they will enhance. So how can we use this to our advantage? Well, one way that the game is built now... Oh, God, I feel really nervous. I got, like, paralysis now. Where do I want to start building? I guess here is good enough. Okay. So far, what you've seen is I've just been putting paths down and then establishing all of our houses in lines and so on. Well, you can do something much more clever, all right? And I'll demonstrate that with a water walker. So we have a couple of employees to do this. I'm going to put a roadblock down. I'm going to put a water walker down. Now, what's going to happen here is this water walker is going to spawn, is going to walk down, and is going to get to about here or something. Whenever they actually do. Without workers, yeah, I know. We've got 42 workers. There you go. Sorry, the game speed was just too low. So look, they're going to get here, and they're going to turn around. About here. Because they want to go home. So for the entire time that they're walking here, they're just roaming around. And eventually their AI will trigger into a new phase, where they're I'm going home phase. Now, what if... So here they're walking back and they're servicing all the houses that they already serviced. What if instead of doing lines, we do blocks? Now this is a principle that has been in all of the games. Pharaoh, Caesar. I think they started with Caesar, by the way. Basically, there's a dev interview where they said they wanted to do the big three in their mind, which was Egypt, Rome, and Greece. And Greece was the last one they did. I think they started with Rome, with the Caesar series. They did Caesar 1, 2, maybe 3 as well. Then they did Pharaoh, I think. I don't know, I can't remember the order. We'll talk more about that later. But here, so if you look at these guys now, and yeah, we're wasting a bit of time at the start of the adventure here. Who knows what's going to attack us or happen. But, oh, we started in 3000 BC. Yeah, look, you can even tell from the dates. The order that things happen. So Greece is going to be very different. That other adventure was way off in the future. So we've got 100 people already just in those shacks up there, which are going to start burning down and breaking. So I'll probably have to get rid of those in a second. But check it out. These guys now, when they get to it, we saw that they get to about here, right? Instead, they're going to roam up here, and then their AI is going to trigger now. We want to go home.
Workers everywhere, and not a job to take.
Well, if water carrying weren't a two-person job, I'd be out of work too.
A two-person job? And now they're coming all the way along here. They will service all of these houses. So just to be clear, all these extra houses now that they walk near because they're going a different road home, they're doing the loop home, that's all bonus houses. That's more stuff we get out of just the same water fountain. And then also, if you think about the pace and the timing of how these things go, if you're doing lines and you imagine a house, the house gets water one day, and then a couple of days later, it gets water again. It like goes water, water, because they get the initial water as the water carrier leaves the fountain, and then again when it doesn't even really need it, when they're on their way home. So they'll get a double tick of water, and then it goes through ages while we wait for the water carriers to come back. And then it goes water, water. And then it goes ages while we wait for the water carrier to come back. If you do a loop, it's all nicely timed. They get water one day, and then a little bit later, regularly, they get water again on the next loop, and then again. And everything works smoother and is way more stable. So, with this in mind, we have the basic principle of a housing block. This is kind of the big dealio, okay? Now, maintenance workers will do that. Infirmary guys will do that. What other basics do we want? We want a little bit of culture for these guys as well. Okay, so we haven't learned about gymnasiums yet, it seems. We do have theatres and drama. So let's just put a drama school up. I want to see if a drama school alone is enough. I don't know whether I need a theatre too. Like, will this produce people who move just all on their own? So they'll all spin in circles now. Now, remember as well the little detail I gave you before about how the infirmary guys and the water carriers walk less distance than everyone else. One of the reasons for their unique behavior is they're very specifically interacting with residents of houses. Like a maintenance guy you might find in a storage district or a farm or whatever, they give him a little bit more patrol distance to be nice about that, because they're not necessarily going to be built in blocks. But those guys, the water carrier and the infirmary guy are specifically for blocks, really, where you're going to be having houses. And they want you to do this. They want you to make these boxes. Like, I think even in the tutorial for this game, they tell you to do blocks. Because this is kind of behavior and understanding that I think they assume some of the audience have inherited from the previous games in the series too. But it's like, it's not some secret magic or gaming the system. It's what they want. It's the game, really. There is also something completely insane and really cool about these two buildings. But we will deal with that later, okay? We won't deal with that just yet. So there's very little culture for these people right now. I guess we can put a theatre in the middle. Now remember as well, they are going to want appeal. So when you're building a housing block, you can start to do a bit of appeal as well. So here's the really cool, this is what I was doing last night. There are so many, there's a forum thread I went in. It's a forum thread from the year 2000. Well, see, if I do that, I'm going to lose all the houses on the inside. I don't know, maybe we do it anyway. A year from the year 2000, and it's still going today. Like, there'll be like 2 posts a year or something. Not many, don't get me wrong. But there will be some posts, like, where people go in, and what they do is they post schematics of their favourite ways of doing housing blocks. And some people go for aesthetics, and, you know, they have really cool little versions with fish ponds and things around. Other people go for like hyper dense, and so I've kind of been a bit weird to you guys in this Let's Play. I've been talking about doing it correct, air quotes. I just mean in terms of doing blocks, okay? There's actually a huge amount of creativity and variation in different things that you can do, and especially when we get to colonies where our space is limited and stuff, you know, there is no like one perfect answer necessarily. You can go to the hyper crazy mathematic thing that I was talking about before, where you fill the whole city up, but the game really has a lot of variation. So, I don't know what kind of housing block I'll settle on. I don't have any, like, committed to memory right now. I'm pretty fresh and blind with all this, so we'll just see where we go with it. Right, so Trozian was discovered. Greetings, Potatoes. Explorers have returned from their exploits and report that they have discovered a place called Trozian. Do you know what I think would have been really cool for this game? A building that sends explorers out, like walkers that walk to the edge of the map like traders, and only when you have explorers do you reveal more about the world map. And maybe you give them amenities in some way, and as the explorer building evolves, it can find more about the world. Who knows? Anyway, up here, before we have fires or whatever, let's delete these. And let's use some of our excess population here. So unemployment is at 28%, so that's good. So I am going to draw... I mean, this is just such a tempting farm, right? I want to do something weird here, actually. I want to see what happens if we immediately build farm really far away. Because I think it's important to know, like, how we can handle some of this stuff. So, and paths, even putting paths down worries me a bit, because if you put the path in the wrong place, it's gonna, like, tamper. So we're at the edge of the farm here. So, like, I want wheat farms right on that. Do you think they'll grow faster? I've got it in my head that they'll grow faster. Ah, look, these people don't actually know anything about wheat farming. They know how to fish. We're in a very primitive era. That's true about early humans, isn't it? That they only knew how to fish. So let's do 2 carding sheds. And again, in these early days, we don't have much labor force. So I'm not going to go too crazy with this. But 2 carding sheds. And then, yes, it already says employees needed. Do you know what? I've screwed up here anyway. Let's keep placing these. I don't know whether we need to max out the carding shed quantity. They're going to need a storehouse as well, but at least they're getting going. So, for food, all we can do is fish. So, I mean, I guess this kind of answers my question, because look, fish are really far away here. Well, but that's because of where I chose to set my thing up. So, fisheries. Totally new building here. I'm going to put 2 of them down, again, because we don't have many people just yet. And I guess this will be the way to fishing. How's our drachma looking? 8,000. Oh wow, it let me build the path right off the bottom of the map. I can't scroll down any further than that. On the world map it seems okay. Wow. Will people walk on that? It was really stingy before about how close to the edge of the map I could go. Oh, I almost thought I did that perfectly there. Right. And then we can do a maintenance office, I don't know, there. With a roadblock. And we can branch off of that and whatever. Last but not least, we need a granary. Okay, so what I want is like centralized storage. I think what I want is nearby storage first. I mean, for the very first block, I think this will be fine and an agora will work here. So actually, our appeal isn't going to work because we do need an agora. This is like one of the most important things. So here's what's quite good about... Oh, wait, R to rotate? Oh, no, it's just not got enough space in here. The agora has a really cool mechanic as well, guys. Oh, my lord. But some of the stuff that I now know about is a bit too advanced. Trosian buys more fleece. Yeah, I want to look at that as well. Alright, so we have established a lot of buildings. We've set up our culture probably too early, right? And our city needs more workers. So it might be true that these fisheries don't have enough people in them. In fact, here, look, I want to demo this right now. So I'm going to make another fishery. And another one. And we'll see whether these actually get the people. Oh, they do. Oh, they're building the boat as well. Look at that. They build a boat first. These are really cool buildings. And then once they've built the boat, we'll see it sails out. Sorry, you know, open. This is really going to gross you guys out. It's very early in the morning. I've not been up very long, but I've already got a can of Coke. Coke Zero, okay? There's no calories in it. It's just, you know, destroying my teeth. Anyway, here's the boats, look.
I'm hungrier than Erisicthon. I wonder if anyone would notice if I made off with some fish.
Yeah, so, they're all hungry. They're starving, you might say, actually. Food level is too low. And we're waiting on our first shipment of fish. So, unlike with wheat, this is not, like, so seasonal. We'll have a fairly steady supply here. I think there might be a thing where fish deposits disappear or something, because they are eventually encouraged to go to other ones. There you go, so he sails back.
All hail my hearty crew. Poseidon will soon wonder where all his fish went.
For some reason, they sound like pirates. There you go, so they bring the fish, they load the fish in, and they go off. Now, if they don't have enough employees, and this guy's like looking around, what we can do is go to administration, not administration. Which one is it? Okay, so what we can do, I just had to verify this. We've been spending a bunch of time on this tab with the map. What we want to do is go back to the feather tab, okay? So on the feather tab, you do get controls in different places. So for example, the tax rate. This is where I used to use it from. You can, so here's the wage rate. So that encourages how much we pay people for different things, which is quite interesting. But if we go to the administration tab, you've got tax. Here we've got culture, various things, but under under industry, it says our employed workforce is 67. We need 69, so we've really got to double the population to fill all of these buildings up. And we can make the buildings work faster and better by shifting labor, okay? It says you could shift some labor. This fishery only has 4 employees. It needs 10, okay? So if I click the magnifying glass here under industry, it's got workforce allocation. So you can see all of our farming, our husbandry stuff, we need 56, we only have 21. Industry, that's like, you know, bronze smelting and stuff. We have none and need none. Storage and distribution needs 22, but only has 9. Hygiene and safety has got loads of people. So what you can do is say, well, look, we don't care in this very early moment. We're going to say low on hygiene and safety. And we're going to say high on husbandry and storage and distribution. And by doing that, a bunch of people will shift the jobs that they're in, and our fisheries will move quicker, and we'll get the food, which is one of those top tier commodities we need to evolve the initial wave of houses to then progress. You know, we can start working on culture and stuff later. So if you're like me and you want to just put the whole block down straight away, like culture, I could have disincentivized culture for now. If you want to do that, but you don't want people working weird jobs that are irrelevant, this is a way to do it, okay? So you see we get a little bit of fish, and now the lady from the Agora is coming out. And in theory, if we look now, see husbandry, lots of people are working in that. And in fact, the fleece industry's probably already produced a little bit of fleece. No, they're coming back now. So let's give them a quick storehouse there. So speaking of storehouses, while that rolls through, I was thinking, a lot of people online talk about housing blocks and how, you know, they want to set those up. I was thinking distribution. I was thinking one of the more subtle things about this game, in terms of having a really well-run city, is having goods move at a reasonable pace. So I want to propose something to you guys, okay? Think of this. Imagine that we have one fleece thing here, filled with fleece, right? Well, one storehouse filled with fleece in this corner. Now, in the very opposite corner of the map, all the way down here, imagine that we have another storehouse for fleece and like an agora or a housing block, and they want the fleece here. So if you think about it in Thebes, we were a little bit like that. We had all of the marble off in one corner. We had our storehouse all off in one corner. Now, if we say on this storehouse, get fleece, a guy is going to come out in a car. He's going to magic across the river. He's going to come all the way up here. He's going to pick it up, and then he's going to go all the way back, and then we'll have like one fleece, okay? So that's very slow. If the storage was centralized, he only has to go halfway. But also, what you essentially, because what you've done is each storehouse isn't just a storehouse, it represents distributors. It represents employees that move stuff. So we have halved our time because one guy does half of the journey, walking here, while at that very same second, another guy is making another half of the journey, okay? So with that simple principle, if we imagine we had another storehouse here, you've halved it again, because you can have a guy moving down here, a guy moving up here, and the same on the other side of the map, I think, unless they only send one employee out once. But basically, my point is, I think what you want is like lots of storehouses dotted. I think basically I want a central store area, and then I want regular storehouses. I don't want to do clumps of storehouses. I think I want to do, like, you know, keep them evenly around, have them siloed. I think that's the term I'm looking for. So, okay, so there's another problem here as well with the way that I've set this up that's not very smart. And that is, we're going to distribute food. And look at this. See how clean everything is now? He just goes in a loop and he goes back. And then he goes in a loop and he goes back. And you know everyone on this block is getting what they need. There's never any weird thing of, oh, will this walker go this way? Will this walker go this way? Blah, 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 blah. So the next problem that we've got here is our first harvest of fish didn't really have that much fish. So we tag a couple of these houses, give them a little bit of fish. Immediately they're like, oh, there's cultural pursuits here. Loads more people move in, but we still don't have much fish. You know, we got a lot of mouths to feed here. And so, they're going to de-evolve again. So, I don't know. You can shift work for the labor force, or I think we're going to have to do that in the later missions. Or you can just, you know, build things a bit slower. Now, that maintenance man will probably get there. I hope he doesn't. So yeah, fisheries, just like the buildings we saw in the previous part, they require very specific pieces of coast. You know what's kind of funny? You know, I used to do a lot of free play when I used to play this, a lot of sandbox stuff. So I spent way more time with fisheries than I ever did looking at, let's see how far he goes on his next thing. Actually, he doesn't even work there. So hold on, I'm a little bit worried that hygiene and stuff has been disincentivized. Oh, here we go. Alright, it's under industry. Okay, so it's under industry. I need to learn what these are again. So industry stats, click in industry to shut it down or reactivate it. Oh, well, so we can just toggle off fleece as well straight away if we want. And I mean, let's do that. Let's shut down the fleece industry for now. That's probably more useful, actually. Because that will be able to, you know, we can turn fleece on once everything else is set up. We probably got a bit early with the fleece. I mean, it would be nice to just get a stockpile going in these early days, but whatever. So here, by the way, you can see it trends the population over time. So we spiked, but couldn't feed them. So people started leaving, and we're in May now. Oh, we get grass for everything. Here's our society. And then population history. Okay, let's build another housing block. And so we want it kind of near the granary, unless we have like a central granary. I kind of like that idea. Let's do a central granary. And let's have it... See, I don't like this thing where I don't really have exits for people. Mind you, there's a path there. That's fine. Okay. So, in the heart of the city, and this is as good as the heart as we're going to get, we will have some storage bays, like, for food. So people can grab food. The idea is going to be that these granaries will get fish. Or this one granary, as it is so far. And then coming off of it, we'll have some different, like, housing blocks. And then also, we can have a storehouse that will get fleece from there as well. Now, the game difficulty is not too high right now, so we're still okay to just grab stuff, okay? So then we'll do that. So there'll be a housing block here. So one way you can do it... So... There's a certain type of housing block, like X by X, that is like well known to be really good. See, that's janky and offset somehow. I haven't fucked that up. And I always want to do double-sided ones. See, so hold on. Here on this one, we did houses on the outside. This time, let's do houses on the inside. But then the other buildings, so we can have... So the Agora, in theory, right? If the Agora was... Oh, we want a roadblock there. If the Agora this time was here, they'd be right next to the granary. So it doesn't need to be there. It could be... like over here, I guess. Because why not, I suppose. And then we'll say food. Just food. We don't need anything else. Just do the bare minimum for now. So we'll put a maintenance man there. And a water fountain. And hopefully they get all the way around. The nightmare, air quotes, is... I keep using that term, air quotes, and I don't know whether I really want to be. So there you go, they're off to do their job. The nightmare is she only gets to, like, here, and then she decides I want to go home, but she didn't quite get over. So now she goes like this. Sort of, but we'll see. And anyway, well, they're always an alternate path when they're in their roaming phase. So first time that she went left, then she'll go right, and so on. So that's all we need. Should we do a third housing block as well, maybe? They just need food. What we really need, if we're going to feed all these mouths, it's just as many fisheries as possible. We're starting as a fish-based town. And it is a good idea to just get as much food as possible. I don't know when, but eventually, presumably, we'll be able to start selling it to our rival. Well, not to our rivals, to other people in the world. Speaking of which, uh-oh, collapsed building. I think that's up in the upper city. Oh, what? Oh my god, because they're still not working. It isn't maintaining anything. No, but all of our fish! Granaries you'll see break quick. That wasn't a coincidence before. That's what granaries do. We really need people to be working there. I could shift some labour. Well, of course I could, but, you know. I tried that. Hold on. Distribution. Oh no, here we go. It's under the industry tab. Go for storage and distribution. We really need people to be working there. What are you doing? Okay, I don't know what I was doing. This was a total brain fart, I guess. I thought, because I thought granary broke, we needed storage. But no, what I need to prioritize there is hygiene and safety. Safety, obviously, that would put workers in there. I've already shut down the fleece industry. I shouldn't have put these fisheries up, I guess. But food, we need food. Hopefully none of these other places break just yet. There's another granary there. You notice that immigrants do not care about the paths, which is kind of interesting because you'd think they would, based on the fact that they walk in. Oh yeah, and we're building right near the entrance of the city here, which is quite cool too. We could just shut down the culture. I think rushing culture too early is not smart. But hey, alright, so they're moving in. We got that. Should we do one more housing block, like I said? Oh god, was that another building collapse? I don't think so. We could do one right here. Do like another style. Find something we settle on. See, so they want appeal as well, so I think a smart thing to do right from the start is to have avenues and stuff. But here you'll see we don't even have avenues available. So let's do like parks on the inside. Yeah, that looks pretty, doesn't it? That's quite nice. And this is like our beautification area. You know, we can put fish ponds and stuff like that. Do Doric columns. And hopefully that's enough appeal for them later. That very middle section is probably not very good, so I don't know, maybe we want to do smaller squares, ultimately. We can put houses around the outside as well, once we get even more fish. It's all about the fish for now, really. Oh my god, this broke down now. What was this? This was a drama school. Well, that's not too bad, because to be honest, did we need drama at this point? We'll let that theatre close. Let's just get like 3 housing blocks going with food. So let's do our third one now over here. So maybe instead of starting with the paths, maybe I start with the houses. So let's see. So we probably want park, Doric column, and then another park. What we could do, by the way, let's say Doric columns I'm just always going to use around houses. And then maybe Ionic columns we can use around food to block, like, ugly sight lines to granaries and stuff. And then maybe Corinthians we can use somewhere else or something. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. So that's enough of a gap now. So that's going to be like that. As long as I can get a road up there, I can. And then he's going to go to there. He's going to go to there. Oh, except the path. Alright, well, whatever. We'll do... Hold on, I thought we were going to do all housing blocks. Oh. Alright, fine. We're going to delete these parks. It's probably too wide. I think these are too big, guys. I don't know whether we can make it. But we will try. And then we'll have some services on the inner ring here. We'll do like a mixed ring. One of them's outer, one of them's inner. And then this ring's going to be okay. So, employee workforce. 150 people are unemployed. So that's good. So we can turn Fleece back on now. And we can stop enforcing that. Because there's plenty of people working here now. So again, we don't really have any big building. Well, I mean, the theatre is pretty big. But before that... Fountain. Maintenance office. Of course, we need to put our palace down as well. But there is no palace, and there is no tax office yet. Wow, we can't do anything yet. This is quite interesting. How am I supposed to make any money? There's the world map as well. Let's have a quick look at this. So, Tenarium, I think... No, Trozian. So, Tenarium... I don't know. I really want to learn about this in real life. I might edit in something about this, because this looks very interesting. It looks like cavemen or something. Okay, this is pretty cool. Nowadays, it's called Cape Matapan. But yeah, it's also known as Cape Tenero or Tenarium in ancient Greek. And I guess it's just a region of Greece, Lower Greece. But mythologically speaking, that's where the gateway to Hades is. Apparently there's some cave in the mythology, and the entrance to the underworld and where Hades rules is there. And what's quite cool is when you look at the world map here in-game, they've put it as a cave, right? It looks like a cave place. So the devs must have known that. That's awesome. That's a real reference there. You got Ethiopia over here. Ethiopia was established at this point. That's really interesting. Oh, wow. And their leader is Cassiopeia. That's very cool. They're apathetic to us. They need wine. They're a rival. Wait, Ethiopia is marked as a Greek city-state in this game. Was that true at one point in history? We're Argos, and these guys have just appeared. They buy fleece. Now, we can sell them that fleece, but I don't know whether we have trading posts. Oh, we do. Oh my god, the only way we get money, we haven't even learned about tax yet. The way we get money is selling fleece at this point. Damn. That's very cool. And we need an income of X amount of fleece for the mission to be done, right? So, with our extra population, let's get fleece going. Because we're going to need fleece for our people. And we're going to need fleece to start selling. So, bunch more sheep. Hygiene is no longer perfect. Probably because I never put an infirmary up there. So that's fine. So they'll keep storing it, but I guess let's start selling, like right now. How do I want to do this? Do I want to, let's say 12. Let's sell 12. So we can get a bit of money coming in. Now these guys are taking fleece to this central storehouse, which this Agora can hit. This Agora is going to struggle to get to it, unless I create another path or something. But let's leave space with that path for some more beautification. So let's do that way. Whatever, we'll leave that there. And then the Agora... Oh, no. Hold on. Oh, I'm going to just have to clear it all. Can undo once, at least recoup a bit of the money. Unfortunately... We're going to have to do it something like this, because I want the Agora as close as possible. And the closest possible position for the Agora is there. And then she can walk out this way. There's something very cool we could have done with the Agora instead there, but we'll deal with it later. I'm going to show you guys fancy things as we go along. So there you go. So hopefully they can get food and fleece. That's not too far of a walk. I think they're fine. They just cut through here, and then they can get to that. So... let's tell these guys to get... oh, they already are getting fish. We can also create a shortcut between these two. We just don't want anyone patrolling there, but people delivering shipments definitely can. Another building just collapsed. All of our fishery... oh, I forgot. Oh, someone would have been watching and thinking of that. Okay. That's alright, though. We didn't really... Well, we wasted time is what we wasted there. Which is, everybody, the most valuable commodity of them all. Okay. I really don't like that one, the 3x3. It's probably better to put a Tyrene Wharf or something there. And then let's connect these. I don't actually need a roadblocker, I don't think. Because he's not going to make it anyway, so we need another guy, regardless. So there's some fish here. They're all just going to this node for now, but there are other nodes. Maybe they just go to the closest node. Anyway, the fish should... Oh, yeah, now you all break. Right as there's a guy walking right next to you, eh? Alright, so bumpy start here. Bumpy start, but we can do this. Let's get all these fisheries back. And... the food supplies should be alright. So these guys have everything they could need for now. Now, okay, so the other thing, let's try this with this city as well, okay? Argos, unlike Thebes, is going to be a bit smarter with its distribution of walkers in terms of culture. So we only have theatres and drama schools. Now that kind of sucks. I think the point is that every housing block will have a theatre, which is really big, so therefore kind of tricky to design around. But somewhere in your city, you can have a drama school, which is quite subtle and small. So later, when you unlock the other thing, the philosophies and the podiums, it's like, oh, it's reversed, so it's really nice and handy. Because the big thing, you only need one of in the city, and the small things you only need, you can put loads of around. I think we can reverse it. I don't know. Let's just keep it. Let's do how I imagine they want us to do it first. Sorry, I'm probably not making any sense right now. So there's a theatre school. For this housing block, we don't need to put another drama school, sorry. We just need theatres now. So I'm going to put this theatre over here. This is quite nice. It's a nice little cubby hole of the world. So there's a theatre all the way over there. Now, in theory, we'll get plenty of culture because people will walk from that school, and to get to this theatre, they're going to pick left or right, obviously, but they're going to go in some interesting directions here. So why did I put those two on the inside? Because the idea was to have... oh, no, this one was mixed, wasn't it? This one was purely on the inside, yeah. And I guess the same again up here, but again, food... Should we get fisheries all along here? Should we just keep going with the fish? Not food vendor, what are you doing? Brain just shut down completely for a second there. I was just thinking, food. Put food down. There you go, 3 more there as well. Oh, and that's... oh no, I was going to say, that's one really nice long line, but it's not. It's pretty good though. Now, I think this maintenance worker's fine. One day he goes left on his patrol. He hits these. The other day he goes right on his patrol and he hits these. Don't think we should have an issue. Oh, and since we've come all this way, we can have 2 more fisheries here. And they're very neat, and they have a different angle for us as well. Okay. Pretty confident that we'll be fine now. So fish come out of the sea here. They're going to come all the way along to our centralized food networks here. What I could also do actually is I could say this, and then what we could do is we could say storehouse get... ooh. Well, let's just say empty of those 2. Let's say get fleece. Now I think we'll see a worker come out of this and just grab that fleece. We'll delete this, and this will be dedicated to granaries. Actually, no, dedicating to granaries isn't a good idea, because what if I want a housing block slightly higher up? It's probably a good idea to do it this way. These need maintenance. We need maintenance. Okay. I'm really worried that everything's going to come crashing down here. Hygiene and safety. Well, let's turn off Fleece again for now. Oh, I put it to low. That's why. I don't want it on low. All right, that's good. There's enough employees here now. 69 workers needed. Okay, teehee. All right, there you go. Maintain these things. Oh, wait, there's... See hazards. Is everybody okay? I think we're okay. Yeah, all right. Remember, if it's a square, it's perfectly fine. There's no risk. If there's a pillar, the pillar is building and building and building. And when it gets high enough, it might collapse or whatever. Okay, this guy's buying even more fleece. It's amazing just how quickly my city goes through its supply. Thank you. It's nice that we're in a bit of cash. Now, as for you guys, you know, we could be producing fleece a lot closer. This is already farmland here. This is all farmland. There's so much farm. I don't know if I want that for more houses, though. But so these guys are now evolving, so we're getting people in. So they can probably have a theatre now. We're getting over the culture gap here. Just to pause here, I don't know if you guys spotted this. I don't mean to overcomplicate things, but I think something I said at the start of the episode might have been slightly wrong. Watch this footage is just from a second ago. Watch this cart guy, right? He's distributing food, and then right when the agora runs out, he turns around. So maybe there is a thing where if the place is, the bazaar is, the whole agora is completely empty, maybe they do turn around. It's either that, or this block is not set up properly and it's too big and he can't get the whole way around before deciding to go home. And it's too early. But I'm pretty sure the block is fine. I think it's unlikely it's a coincidence. So maybe it is true that if the agora runs out of everything, they'll turn around. But it's kind of irrelevant. Everything I said at the start of the video still matters and is still important because ultimately he's going to have other commodities that won't all run out all at once, right? And we want to design and think about a world in which we have enough food, which we will for 90% of the playthrough. In those scenarios, having a block is still important. It still allows you to cheese that extra amount of distance he otherwise wouldn't go because he would have turned around even with a full cart. Services on the outside, as I say. And then let's do this here as well. Just, again, so that supply people can move around a little bit better. As for our mixed block down here, as you see, like, some of them have evolved. Oh, they want appeal. Okay, so what do we want to do with appeal this time? We really don't have much for appeal yet. Thrown out of my home.
I searched high and low, and there's not so much as a hut for me to call home. Not even Diogenes' barrel.
Diogenes' barrel? What is Diogenes' barrel? WP? Edit that in. Tell the people what Diogenes' barrel is. No. There's been too many black and white sections. I'll do that later. I'm sure we're going to click one of those guys with that voice again, and I'll remind myself sometime in the future. We want that place clear. Well, what do we want it clear for? We don't have anything else we can give them. I mean, later I assume we will unlock the power of tax. And... oh, infirmaries. Oh, yeah. Okay, he needs an infirmary. Do you guys have an infirmary? No, you don't have an infirmary. We've got 1,000 people now. So, very uggo infirmary there. But what are you going to do? Okay, so we've got 3 housing blocks. Okay, yeah, now I'm pretty confident we can... oh, not there. Not bang in the middle, man. Thrown out of my home. Alright. Wow, look, these guys are living off screen. This is really weird. I don't think this is right, but it's not scrolling down, whether I use the keyboard or the mouse. That's a lot of townhouses right there. So actually, you know, I spent so long doing housing blocks. I really had a lot of fun in the first adventure, just winging it and doing weird setups. So yeah, back to this thing about this forum thread. There is a forum thread online. So there's this amazing website. It's called Zeus Heaven Games. It's like a relic, right? It's from like the 90s. And it's still going, and you know, they're still hosting forums, and they have old information. They have this amazing anecdote on there where they're teaching you the controls, and they say, if your mouse has a mouse wheel, you'll be surprised that you can use it, and it will scroll through the UI. And you know, I've just been doing that casually here, but this is the level we're dealing with PC gaming. Okay, not everyone had a mouse wheel. But there's a forum thread, and it starts in the year like 2000. And it still gets posts every now and then where people are putting schematics down of their favorite housing blocks. Oh, I like that the buildings on the inside. I like the houses on the outside. I like this. And they're really, you'd be amazed how clever people can be. That's before even dealing with some like tricks with the engine, with the like the water fountain and the infirmary and stuff. And some people have made designs that just incorporate everything. There are like free-flowing designs. There's certain animations and visuals in this game that you can only get under very specific circumstances, kind of like relics and holdovers from previous editions of the Impressions game series, and you'll see those as well. I'm going to show you guys all of them. It's going to be so good. Not necessarily all in the Argos adventure, but yeah, I had a bit of a read last night, and I sort of had to stop myself because I realised if I read too much, I would end up like having real ideas, and I promise I don't have any like meta or pre-baked concepts in my head right now. I'm just winging it. Except obviously, you know, the simple fact that we can do loops, which is an innovation. It's funny, we have innovated on our city building, but we have gone backwards to a much more primitive time in terms of everything else that we can use. Should we? Okay, so let's see. So if we click the housing tab, we can see very easily that there's housing for 132 more people. A bunch of people are here. People wish to come to the city. And then if we go to administration, no, not administration. Okay, here it's industry. There's a bunch of unemployed. There's 40% unemployed. So it is time, I think. I mean, why did I build these all the way up here? There's not even farm there. Or whatever. It is time. So we could do blocks. You could do production blocks as well, like this, if you want. And I guess we can demo that. The maintenance man here now, he will just walk in a loop, spinning around. And so now we can just put carding sheds. Oh, that worked perfectly. I know this is a bit obscene, but who knows how big Argos is going to get one day. It's quite scary, the idea there might be a hazard or whatever. So carding sheds, and then just sheep. Sheep. This is going to be our main export. We may as well go big with it, right? So, and again, like, each carding shed represents... So how does this work? When I click, it goes red, and I can never put another one on that square? I guess so. So that square is assigned a sheep now. Did we ever right-click on a sheep? Oh my god, this is so many sheep. Is this necessary? We're spending money as we go. Actually, we're in debt. Whoops. This fertile land can play host to farms, olive trees, grapevines, orange trees, and livestock. We've not seen anything with oranges yet. Yeah, they're going all over the place. Yeah, this was probably a bit silly. We now have the people, but not the money. So we can start selling more. Oh, a helping hand, thank you. So you'll see the helping hand is a lot less money now. And I think our chance of getting a helping hand is not so good. That's from Trozian, who have just appeared as well. I've noticed you could use some money. Because I think so highly of you, I've decided to give you some drachmas. Thank you. We don't have to read that dialogue as much as I am at the moment, I suppose. Okay, I'm not going to up our exports just yet, but actually I am, because look, we've got some extra fleece sitting around. So the question is that storehouse all the way over there? I think that's good. I think they'll be able to get there. Is it too distant? Price increase. Because of reduced supplies throughout the world, the price of fleece has risen by the amount shown above. Importing this good is now costlier, but high profits can be made from exporting it. Well, good, because we're an exporter of fleece. This is how Greece was built. What have I done here? Oh my god, dude. What have I done? Oh, wait. Yeah, no, okay. This is very odd. The ring for the houses are here. Oh yeah, and people do. Oh, what? They do like inner rings and stuff, and like you can have internal rings and external rings, and oh my god, whatever. Right, this is good. I don't see the need to give the people fleece yet, until I'm sure that our fishing situation is good. Can I really not have a fishery right there? I can. I can have one there as well. I can have one there. Dude. Alright, well. Well, hold on, we gotta do 3, don't we? And then delete the 2. Well, the 1 in the middle. Okay. Bit of a windy road, but look. This is Fisher's Road. And what about there? No, that's not doable. And what about there? This one's totally doable, though. Why have I put a path there? There's no way that that's not valid. Look. Oh god, that's so ugly though, isn't it? There. There. Maybe even one there. Maybe not, actually. Oh, I don't know. I want to verify, though. So you connect like that for a second. Maybe the problem is that I've already got one too close to it. No, it does work. Look at that. Should we do a little loop at the end? That's funny. Hopefully he's fine with that. He's got quite a patrol to do now. Actually, this is kind of amazing in terms of maintenance offices. My previous playthrough, right, our maintenance offices were awful. They were all over the place. It reminds me of watching like a Minecraft Let's Play, and you know you can like in that game, you can press F7 or whatever, and you can see the yellow crosses on the ground and the red crosses on the ground, and you can put torches perfectly spaced apart so there's barely any or whatever, but then you watch people play the game and they just spam torches everywhere. That's what I was doing with maintenance posts. But here, look at this. I have 2 maintenance posts. 2. There's this guy who does all of these. He walks really far and he grabs, I think, even this one. I would hope so. See hazards. I think he gets there. It says the building is damaged. Come on, dude. You can make it. If he makes it, I'm very happy. Okay, good. He gets there. Go on. Oh, he doesn't make it there. All right, so that one's going to collapse. That's a real shame, because I was just about to brag that with just 2 maintenance posts, look at all of the fisheries I've got. Look at it. One guy. This one especially on the top is amazing. But fine, we'll put another maintenance post there. One in the middle. Surely we'll be fine for fish. Nobody's going to want to buy this fish, so we have to feed the people with it. This agora is empty, which worries me. See, the whole distance thing, right? I think what we had as a problem in our previous, like, big downtown area is if she's got a huge commute to do, which she kind of does. If she has a massive commute, she needs to collect a big batch, because she can only make deliveries very irregularly, so she needs a big batch. So if when she gets there, they only have a few fish. Like here, I don't think she got enough fish there. It's going to be a problem, because some people aren't going to get the food and stuff's going to start devolving. So I want to overwhelm with food. I have come down from Mount Olympus. So the other thing you can do as well is water crossings. I assume that's... Wow. We haven't learned how to make a water crossing yet either. This is cool. Anyway, I'll probably have one here. And then we can put fisheries all on the other coast. I'm not sure what we're going to do with this coastline. There's not a great deal going on, is there? There's space for some industry, I think. And then up here, I don't know what... This scares the pants off of me, because it makes me think all of the farmland on the northwest is going to disappear somehow. And all we're going to have for farming is that mountain by the end. But I suppose by then there'll be lots of people around Greece. And we can trade for it. Okay, so how's employment doing? Gonna have to learn how this all works. Housing for 40 people. Newcomers arrive. We have... Our current food production and importation can support 3,500 people. So we have a massive surplus right now. So that's excellent, because we have double the food we need. So that's great. So when we start distributing fleece, that should be alright. But I want to have a look. So our money, we have 700 drachma. We've spent all that drachma again. I'm going to have to learn to watch the money as I build. Unemployment is at 36%, so we can keep going with the fleece here. And I think that's what I want to do. Should we have another fleece ring that... Well, hold on. I mean, let's complete the look, shall we? By saying... So I've kind of messed up here because the block's too wide. I could have just had all these houses back to back, I suppose. So we'll do something weird and funny here, which is we will delete that one. Which stings, because you never know how well their production was going. Now, I don't know whether the maintenance guy is going to be alright with this, so I'm gonna give him some support. And we don't need to put a roadblock down. But then we'll do an inner layer of carding sheds like... Oh. I know that looks ridiculous. I know it does, that I could ever mess that up. But really, it's very precise. See, look, this is so inefficient because we got these 2 layers here. I won't put parks down. But there you go. So, just a bunch of carding sheds. That's a nice little condensed thing. And then the outer ring can have carding sheds as well. And yeah, I kind of like this. I feel like when I was younger, I would rush. Just top tier houses, like real quick. But I mean, why though? Why would we do that? What we want is to be able to start making some money. So putting these sheep down costs a lot. I think that's most of our money has gone into putting sheep down. This is a little bit too clean now, isn't it, actually? Look at this. We've just got a huge block of sheep and a huge block of houses, carding sheds. I could do something for the roads here. This is a bit horrible, isn't it, for them? I mean, this is what I'm talking... Okay, this is what I'm talking about. All right, so, look. If I put a storehouse... Well, first of all, let's get the road nice and direct. So when we look at the world map, it's probably better to bring this road here, this path, straight down. Oh, is that a straight road? Oh, it's not a straight road, but still, it's pretty good. Okay. Now, I think, first of all, we can delete that. Each one of these is a distributor. So it will like bottleneck, right? So realistically... Don't I have more bandwidth for the transportation of goods? Like I was okay, let me express myself. What I was gonna do was I was gonna say like a storehouse here. And then like a storehouse down here. And then like a storehouse down here, and this way they're all like bouncing back. You know, it's like having a like a conveyor belt or whatever. You know, when you're helping someone move or something, and you all move the boxes in a long line, it goes much quicker. That's what I was thinking, because they can move in parallel, right? Because you get more employees moving in parallel. However, right now I have each one of these will be a wagon man, so the bandwidth right now is huge. The speed is quite slow. But I could just have a fleet of guys. Just don't give them on-site storage. I could just have a fleet of guys going. And even better, I don't think, when these guys finally get a wheelbarrow of fleece coming out, 0 employees. But don't we have plenty of labour now? Like, nobody's working these goddamn places. Oh, is it because I still have the industry disabled? I was wondering why it was looking so empty. Okay, hold on. Distribution, was that it? No, not here. No, it's industry. I'm beginning to learn. It's industry. Yeah, don't shut down the fleece industry. Go. Oh, there you go. Sorry, everyone. All right, get to work. Look, see? Speaking of the... Look. Oh, my lord.
I'd follow you anywhere. It's sheer pleasure living in a
Thank
city
you.
like
Look at
this.
this. We have a fleet of... What do we call them? Sheep farmers? I don't know. Anyway, look, they're bringing the fleece back. So here's what I'm saying. These guys, the actual production of the building has no bearing on the delivery men. Like, these are really cool, to be honest. You've got people back at the housework. They're only taking...
How much longer do I have to travel before I reach my destination?
They're only taking 8 employees, and yet we've got a guy out tending the ground, we've got a guy back at home knitting or stitching or whatever, and delivery men, all within that 8. It's a lot of walkers and a lot of city movement for very little investment in terms of housing. Anyway, see, this is big, I think. I think we do it this way. I think if I have the siloed storage, where I just have this thing here, I lose all my bandwidth. Am I describing this in really nerdy, horrible, boring terms, or is this making sense to people, you know? Because now there's just going to be one little cartman, like, sweating his arse off running. This is better. I don't think I ever want storage near... Like, I don't think surely the same is true for the fishing, right? I don't want a granary. I don't want a dedicated granary for them. I want them to take it straight to the middle of the city. It will be slow, but it will be... But once that first batch is in, it'll be big. Alright, you can get fish as well now. Right, and that's a lot of fleece I just saw, so... Let's start selling all of it, genuinely, because I want money. I don't want to be in debt. So our best so far was 13, but that's about to go up massively. We need a profit of 500. Okay, and they want homesteads, so we do need to give the people fleece as well. Should we do another fleece block? Oh, no, we don't need to do another fleece block. So let's see, unemployment, 81 people are unemployed. We can get 8 people per carding shed. So that means we can put 10 more down, basically, and have 1 guy left over. But I'll keep some space without doing that for the... well, let's not box them all in up there, because they do want to get to the farm. There you go. You guys can't do that. You've got to go out the front. There you go. I like this. This is pretty interesting. What was I going to do after that? Oh, yeah, sheep. Ugh, these fucking sheep. They're so expensive. Hey, look, I know that we're all primitive and there's basically no money around and there's no allies and you already gave me some money, but can I have some more money? Am I at risk of getting a game over from this? Oh, dear. Look, I'm not doing anything except selling the fleece, though, so... Look at that, they're just loading it all in there. Alright, we just need to chill now and let time pass. We are solvent. We are okay. We've just gone through a significant period of investment. Please don't kick me off the board. I'm going to sit back, have a drink. How has it been an hour? Oh my god. It's been an hour already. And we're not even close to finishing this. Okay, I think we're going to have to end the episode, guys. Seriously. This is going to take a while. Oh, so join me next time, where we continue our adventure in Argos, the great fishing and fleecing city, and we'll look at these housing blocks as well. I might make see, when you make amazing housing blocks, you might need only like a couple. When you make weaker, more inefficient ones, you're probably going to need a few, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, and if the block's too big, it's just one route they'll go left, the other route they'll go right, and I think it's still fine. Anyway, yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next one, where hopefully we deal with our money crisis and continue along. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you. See you next time. So, with our second adventure beginning, now I can't remember exactly when I was talking about this in the LP, but at some point, maybe I've already done it, maybe I'll do it in an episode or two, I can't remember where to dig it out. I will refer to some behind-the-scenes videos. Now, these are amazing. Basically, I don't know what their actual origin is. It feels like a slice out of a TV show that was focusing on Boston and history or something around the year 2000 or in the late 90s, and they just did like a little spotlight that turns sort of into an advert for Zeus. I have no idea where it originally came from. Eventually, a really low quality version. So the whole thing's like 4 minutes long, but then it got split. Don't forget, this is 2000s internet. It got split into 3 different files of like a horrible like QuickTime iTunes movie format. Remember when everything online? I remember I used to download like Halo trick videos and all these awful formats that are like they're like 240p or less, you know, so it might even be like 120p. They're so bad. But then the website they were hosted on ended up getting removed from the internet and they were lost, but somebody did salvage them, kept them online, put up a public archive. So I wanted to include them in the LP. They're cool. They're really interesting. It's awesome to get a peek behind the curtain and just see the devs that made the game, the culture, the rooms that they built in and so on. There's like a moment with a digital artist and like that's new and novel, and she's talking about the advantages of that over just traditional pen and paper art making. It's really interesting. So here, I'll just let it speak for itself. This was actually kind of hard to edit in and get the file conversion right without the audio just exploding, but good old VLC with a plugin or two and OBS managed to get it right for me.
The cities of Zeus consist of dozens of buildings like this. On each house and each workshop, every temple is populated with virtual inhabitants. The streets are vibrant with life, just like in a real city. The residents don't just ace the woman, each one has a job. Any kid who forgets to include entertainment in ways of their city should not be surprised when the world inhabitants will leave. Zeus is more than just a building city.
Sorry, Cerebus? No, I refuse to use this pronunciation. Okay, today's episode is on the competitor. We already saw the athlete, remember, right? And what was interesting about the athlete, actually, is the athlete had dialogue for going to and from the games. I always kind of assumed it was just the competitor that had dialogue from going to and from the games. But no, they both do. So here's the competitor who has similar stuff, but not quite. He's like a nuts drill sergeant. Pretty cool.
Everyone bow down before me! I won the games! I am the strongest man in all Greece! Probably even stronger than Hercules! I'm not quite sure how it happened, but I came in second place in the games. Someone must have cheated. The sun was in my eyes! How could I perform well with the sun in my eyes? A lot of people in the city are sick. I could break them like a twig! Why are people complaining about no food? I ate just last week! All these extra workers aren't doing the city any good! Vassal, schmassel! We're stronger, we're faster, and we shouldn't be paying tribute to anyone! They should let me at that rebelling city! I'll show them a thing or two! Ah!